What's up, guys? This is Danny Quest from Crypto World Anarchy, man. I'm here with my good friend Daniel Johnson at a presentation at the Marriott, LibertyCon. I bumped into him on the way out. It's an excellent experience. How you doing today, friend?
Not too bad, man. And yourself?
Awesome to run into you. It's been a terrible week. I got stuck in Charlotte Airport on my way from Acapulco. Ended up sleeping in the airport for like 36 hours.
Oh!
Missed yesterday's presentation, but luckily I made it here today. By the grace and divine energy. So.
flew in, and the turbulence was so bad that just about everybody on the plane almost threw up. Like the winds were like 60. There's two cars outside that a tree fell on. You can see the wind was so harsh it blew the tree onto the cars. Like it's been pretty bad weather, but we're glad you're here.
Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here. I'd like to talk about how your presentation went, what it was about, a little bit of the fundamental core values of what you were talking about, and of course, where people can find out more.
Okay, so basically the core of my presentation was how to defund the government and help your fellow man. The idea is, if we talk, there's been jokes in libertarian anarchist circles for a long time about like, what if everybody stopped paying their taxes and then, man, we could just stop everything, right? There's been those jokes for a while, but there's never really been a practical way to do that. And so the number one thing that I would say is, if you want to defund the government, you have to recognize why we have one. And I don't mean that, we want rulers or we want something like that, like many anarchists would go with. I mean the services that government currently provides to people. We have to recognize there are a lot of people that rely on those services. And if we ever want to defund the government because of the abuses, because we have to actually find not only the reasons why the government should be defunded, but also to have the who is going to take care of people, who is going to provide the services. If you pull money from the abuses of government, how do you take care of the things that government is doing that are kind of good? And so with the presentation, it was all about, there's lots of organizations that exist today that already provide great public services. And in fact, most of what we call public services are actually provided by we the people. Through nonprofits, through businesses, through informal groups. I'll give you an example. Are you familiar with the Cajun Navy?
Yeah.
Okay, the Raging Cajuns, right? So the Cajun Navy, a bunch of guys with boats and Facebook and a cell phone. And what they did was they went to Hurricane Harvey, dumped 1 trillion gallons of water on Texas, and Texas is not too far from Louisiana. They come down there. Guess which group of people? The Coast Guard of the Cajun Navy rescued 4,500 people.
Cajun Navy?
No. The Coast Guard rescued 4,500 people. The Cajun Navy rescued 6,000.
Oh, yeah. Well.
With 1,000th of the resources of the Coast Guard, the Cajun Navy rescued 6,000 people. It's not a group of libertarians, it's not a group of anarchists, it's not a group, this is a group of regular people who came out and decided, we're going to help our fellow man. And they did. And there is example after example of organizations out there that do better in communities. You probably can think of a few, maybe in your own community. Your listeners can probably think of a few in their own communities. That, what if all of these resources you're currently sending to the government, what if, because we do better, you could send those resources to those organizations? What if you could say, hey, I don't know, take a couple of your tax dollars and send to those organizations? You think that'd be pretty cool? So that's what we like to advocate.
So it's the cores. Are you familiar with the cores? Samuel Edmund Compton, the way to defeat the government is to replace institutions with private institutions and do better.
Yeah, and in order to replace those effectively, recognizing that they're already doing better, right? I have a little criticism of libertarians and anarchists here. You keep saying, oh, well, we can. Like, if the government would get out of the way, we can. If the government would move, privatize this, then, they could take care of it. Oh, well, who would build the roads? Well, theoretically, somebody would. Private construction companies already build roads. They've already built those two bridges. Public services as a whole are already food banks. Is where you get food. You don't get food from the local unemployment office. You get food from the food bank, right? So these organizations already exist. So you need to start arguing from your stronger position, which is that we do better, that public services are already out there, rather than saying, oh, well, maybe someday, that right now we do, and if agorism is, let's move our resources and support those institutions, then it really is, at the end game, what liberty is all about, which is helping people and help people live more full lives.
dollars. I agree completely. Vote with your dollar. That's the main thing that works in this world to make things happen is the market. So it doesn't matter what ruler you want or representative you want. What really matters is where you spend your economic power, because your economic power comes from your time and your energy. So where you spend your time and your energy ultimately is what affects the world. And if you're willing to lay back and accept great services from an institution that steals and robs from you and coerces you to give you money, then you can. You're perfectly willing and able to do that. But you also have the opportunity today to invest into and help support institutions that are doing public services better than the institutionalized government on a private, non-profit basis. That's a great way to put it.
Well, I'm all about theories are one thing, right?
Right.
I love talking philosophy. I love talking about the various types of force, and I love talking about various interactions with people, right? But if it just stays as philosophy, it never affects just about anyone's lives. What you need is a practical way to implement that. And what many of your listeners may not be familiar with, you're familiar with the Arizona charitable credit? So for the past 20 years in Arizona, taxpayers have been able to send 200 of their tax dollars to any organization that serves the poor outside the state government. That worked so well that last year was $36 million, 130,000 people sent to these organizations. They're not anarchists, they're not libertarians. 130,000 people sent these to these organizations, and they just doubled it. So now you can send $400. So that keeps growing and that keeps expanding. So now you have the legal way. The truly legal IRS is going to come after you, no problem, to defund the abuses of the government and send them to the organizations that do better. It's been in existence for 2 decades. What if your state legislature, what if your Congress, what if your city council passed something like this that allowed you in your community to direct your dollars just like Arizona does and has done for 20 years? We're not just talking philosophy, which is fun. We're talking liberty is about real people's lives. Real people's lives are on the line every single day, and we're talking about a practical way to improve their lives.
Awesome, man. It's amazing. Yeah, I talk about action a lot too. Action over philosophy all day, man. Let's segue now into what actions can we take. What are you doing? What are your upcoming projects? Where can the people follow you? And what can we each do to apply these practical principles of liberty into our daily lives?
How long do you want me to answer that question?
It could be it's a broad question.
I'll throw a couple things out there. So we recently finished delivering about 4 million pounds of disaster relief aid to Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Caribbean because we have some people on our team who are very good at disaster relief, and so they have a lot of experience in it, and we decided to help, and we were part of a 4-organization coalition that did that, the Be Strong, Build Better coalition. And beyond anything, that clearly showed that when we the people come together, we do a better job than the government. But we're also we're encouraging people out there to check out WeDoBetter.org. There's legislation on there that you can look to your community and see about getting introduced. Also, we're building a website called socialsafety.net. Go to WeDoBetter.org, become a monthly donor. You'll help create this website. And basically, anybody will be able to type in. I just got the wireframe. I'm so excited. I got the wireframe recently that showed me how this is going to work. Anybody can type in what they need and their zip code. You get a list of organizations, non-governmental organizations that provide it. That's going to be called socialsafety.net. We have several other projects on the burners, but those are the main ones we're working on. On a practical level, first you change the mindsets, and then, and only then, you get to change what practically happens for people. So how you can start implementing liberty and the principles of anarchism and things like that into your everyday lives. I think it's very simple. Number one, you recognize that it's all around you. You recognize that the nonprofit down the street, where every single member of their board voted for Hillary Clinton, that nonprofit is liberty in action because they're privately funded. You recognize that the business that offers low-cost food, restaurant offers low-cost food to people who need it, that they are a part of providing public services, that they are liberty in action. That you start to recognize, you start to tell people about these examples. And then number two, in your own life, you know, politics I've been a part of for longer than I like. It's poly being many and ticks are blood-sucking creatures. Politics is a war zone. You set up the people who call themselves the right against people who call themselves the left, and they fight over and they take things from each other and they steal things from each other. If we want to really implement the ideas of voluntarism and liberty into our everyday lives, we need to look for ways that we can work together to solve problems and not look to politics or look to government as a whole to solve our problems, except for to say we'd like to punch our money ticket out of you. You know, we're not going to buy your ticket anymore. We're not going to get into the boxing ring anymore. I want to see you guys not just talking about direct action, which is good, but I want to see doing it. You know what's going to happen to your community when a guy shows up in a Samuel Congan t-shirt and he feeds the homeless once every 3 weeks? You know what's going to happen in your community when that guy goes to a nonprofit and says, I'd like to raise money for you, I'd like to go talk to people? You know what's going to happen to that community? That community is going to get solidly, seriously behind liberty. And that's what I'd like to see more of, is let's skip the middleman. Let's skip the politician and the bureaucrat, and let's put our lives and our resources and ourselves into living the very model that we say other people should follow.
That's great, man. I'm blown away. This guy is truly incredible. Y'all follow him for real. Daniel Johnson.
WeDoBetter.org, and We Do Better on Facebook and Twitter.
Amazing, man. An awesome individual, practical change to direct action. It's exactly what we need, and I'm just blessed to be a part of this world that has people like this in it, man. Thank you all for following. You can follow me on steamit.com/@DannyQuest. We're here at the Marriott. After this, we're going to the anti-APAC March. Lots to do in this world. I love you all. Daniel, man, thank you for being here. It's absolutely incredible to have this conversation with you. I'm glad to be your friend, and I look forward to changing the world, man. We have the power. Thank you.
Awesome.
That was fucking